suffer another injury blow and why that should give them all they need to make sure they make another trade at the deadline. The Dodgers absolutely had to be active at the trade deadline if they want to go back-to-back and win another World Series. Also, Tyler Glasnow has been activated. We're going to talk about what this Dodgers team needs to do to snap this 5-game losing streak today in Milwaukee with Glasnow back on the bump. That's coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you're a current subscriber and you want to support the show, drop a like, drop a comment. Podcast listeners, leave a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the Discord, join the big lead, and also let us know down below in the comment section. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about this little slide? We talked about yesterday why this is kind of a part of what happens in the course of a Dodgers season. I know it's not fun, but let us know down below. I mean, are there things that you're seeing that kind of make you feel like, uh-oh, there's more cause for concern? Let us know down below in the comment section. But we got a lot of Dodgers baseball to get into. We've got the comment of the show going. We've got the poll question of the show. We're going to get back to the one from yesterday that we updated and asked you guys, what do the Dodgers need to trade for the deadline? And thousands of votes. 28% say outfielder, 16% say reliever, 46% say starting pitcher, 10% say nothing. That's a little bit of a surprise to see that the reliever spot is behind outfielder and starting pitcher. The starting pitcher is the most. I mean, I guess you could never have enough starting pitching, and maybe you don't have confidence that this current group is going to remain healthy. So we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But we got so much of Dodger baseball. We have so much Dodger baseball to talk about leading up to game time in Milwaukee. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that Tyler Glasnow has been activated. The Dodgers tweeted out just minutes ago the Dodgers activated right-handed pitcher Tyler Glasnow and optioned right-handed pitcher Alexis Diaz in order to make room on the 40-man roster. The Dodgers placed right-handed pitcher Michael Kopech on the 60-day injured list. So we knew that Tyler Glasnow was going to make his return today. What we didn't know was that Michael Kopech was going to be transferred to the 60-day IL. By the way, Alexis Diaz, I hope you enjoyed your bullpen warm-up session yesterday because he's already being sent down. I did talk to a scout down in Oklahoma City that told me that personally they thought that Diaz hasn't looked great. They haven't liked how Diaz has looked, and that Fernandez actually had looked better, but they went with the experience and also the fact that they have something invested in Diaz. And I still think that we have to see what they have in him. If they've taken to some of these new mechanical changes, from what I've heard, they've made some tweaks to the slider and just trying to calm things down from that standpoint. But still, it is a major project that they're trying to hopefully take advantage of, because they've already invested a good amount of money and taken on what's remaining of his salary, which is almost $3 million this year. And then they'd have to pay him in the offseason because he's still under team control for multiple seasons. But now let's talk about the surprise here, and that is Michael Kopech. That's the big story here. Kopech was placed on the IL on July 1st due to right knee inflammation. Dave Roberts said at the time that it would have been a brief stay. They were expecting a brief stay, that it wasn't going to be something that was going to be longer than that. He did receive an injection to address some of the discomfort in that knee, and the Dodgers, they are going to try to make sure that he's going to be okay when it matters most. So what ended up happening basically was that knee just was not cooperating, and you don't want to have him compensate, because if he's compensating, then there's a chance that he could injure another part of his body, namely his arm, right? So that's the last thing you want to see in that situation. So Michael Kopech is on the 60-day IL. The 60-day IL for Michael Kopech. And I think the big takeaway here from the start is you look at this Dodgers bullpen, the way it is laid out. And Tanner Scott, he had a rough start to his season, then went on a really nice stretch after he made some mechanical adjustments where his lower body was flying out. He told me that the mechanics were dog poop, not in those words, to start the year. And he made those changes, and it paid dividends, and he started to see better results. But the first major big blow was that you lose Evan Phillips for the season with Tommy John surgery. And then Blake Treinen, he goes down. And from what I was told yesterday is, hey, with Blake Treinen, of course, you guys know how they think of him. He's someone who already has proven himself time and again this organization. He was one of the big reasons why they were able to beat the Yankees there in Game 5, win that World Series. Well, Dave Roberts said a couple days ago that Treinen, with that forearm injury, is going to start a rehab assignment with AAA Oklahoma City on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Blake Treinen goes to AAA OKC to start that assignment. He's been out since mid-April with the right forearm sprain. He's going to need at least a handful of rehab appearances before he can rejoin that Dodgers bullpen, and he could be back to start the second half. So, of course, he won't see him today against Milwaukee. You won't see him in the 3 games in San Francisco. But the hope is that you do get some time and that he responds well. But from what I was told, the Dodgers are hoping to replace Evan Phillips and what he brought to the pen for what they were expecting from him, a high-leverage reliever, and then also a backup plan in the event that Blake Treinen, Michael Kopech, one of these guys just isn't able to go for whatever reason. So yesterday's show, if you watched it, it was dedicated for a large portion to trading for a reliever. And that's because I still wholeheartedly believe that if this team's going to go back-to-back, if they're truly all in, if you're 100% all in on the 2025 Dodgers, you need 2 things, an outfield bat and a high-leverage reliever. The name I threw out there yesterday, and I've been talking about it for months now, is David Bednar. We talked about him. We also talked about Aroldis Chapman as a potential name. Ryan Helsley is a name. I mean, we're talking about high-leverage guys, and that's what wins in the postseason. I think, hey, if this team truly has all the chips pushed into the middle of the table, has the pink slip to the car, the lien on the mortgage, the watch, the wife's earrings, if they have everything in on this season, then they're going to spare no expense. And you're already north of $400 million on this roster. You're already in the top tier when it comes to the luxury tax at 110%. Well, then you need to be active, and now you have to give up some prospect capital to assure yourself that you are going to be in a great position to go back-to-back. Now, for me, I think the thing with Kopech is this is one thing after another at this point. He has had some bad luck. I talked to him during spring training, and he was sick in the offseason. His family got sick, and it kind of set him back from that standpoint. And then you just had things piling up. And when you're a guy that throws that type of gas, we saw him pumping 102 miles per hour with the Dodgers last season, well, then you're going to set yourself up for injuries. And sometimes what you do to your arm can affect your lower body, what your lower body can affect your upper body. All of these things are interconnected one way or the other. Now, the earliest that he can return from this right knee inflammation is on August 27th. So that's the earliest he can return. And he's already missed the Dodgers' first 64 games of the season. He worked his way all the way back from the right shoulder impingement that was from last October's run. Now, I've talked to a lot of players this offseason, early this season. If you saw my interview with Max Muncy, one thing I asked him was, hey, how special would it be to go back-to-back? How difficult that is that in a sport where we haven't had a back-to-back champion since the 2000 Yankees, hasn't been done by a National League team since the late 70s Cincinnati Reds. And one thing that I'm constantly reminded by these players is when you do play that extra month of baseball in October and you play it at such a high level, one player told me one game feels like 10 games. And I'm sure those World Series games even felt like more. And when you are emptying the tank for an entire month, and then on top of that, you have a shorter off season, then you go to Tokyo, so it's even shorter off season than even most World Series champions. Well, this is why it's very difficult to go back to back, because it's very difficult to keep your roster healthy the following season. Even guys that are in the lineup and in the rotation, in the bullpen, they are feeling that attrition, and you're seeing guys a little burnt out, right? And as it relates to Michael Kopech, the hope is that this is all veering on the side of caution. I think it's very evident now what this team's strategy is. And the strategy is guys can come back and pitch or play, but they're always going to keep pitchers out longer than position players. Because pitchers, once you lose them, they are done for the most part. Inflammation, shoulder, arm, Tommy John, whatever it may be, it's rare that those guys come back. And with someone like Michael Kopech, they know he's a key cog. They know he's a pivotal piece to what this team is going to do. Just look at what he did last season for this team. And the other thing, too, is, I mean, you look at just that performance, right? I mean, he was great last year, and then when he was originally placed on that 15-day IL on July 1st, it was backdated for the 3 days, so that's the maximum that you can do it. So, yeah, you were hoping that you're going to see him right after the All-Star break, but it is not going to happen. So that's the position they're in with Michael Kopech, August 27th at the earliest. Now let's get some more nuggets from what is going down in Milwaukee before the Dodgers try to salvage this series any way they possibly can with Tyler Glasnow on the mound. We'll talk some Glasnow here in just a second. But, yeah, I think the thing with Glasnow and why today is so crucial is the Dodgers, they need to get a clearer picture of their rotation, and they just need something to feel good about heading into the All-Star break. And we've talked about extensively this week that this is the time-honored tradition in July, right? The time-honored tradition where it's fireworks and barbecues and s'mores and going to the beach and the Dodgers crawling to the All-Star break. And we saw last year, you get swept by that Cincinnati team, and then you end up getting beat by that Detroit team. And it was an ugly finish to the rest of the season, but the All-Star break can't come soon enough. Now, some other news and notes. Shohei Ohtani is going to make his final start of the first half on Saturday in San Francisco. Dave Roberts confirmed this. So the Dodgers rotation for the series against the Giants. Friday, you got Dustin May. Saturday, it's going to be a piggyback start with Shohei Ohtani and Emmet Sheehan. And Sunday, it's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto getting the start for the Dodgers' final game before the All-Star break. And ever say it's the half. To say it's the half is not true. It's not the halfway point. It's the All-Star break. I think you guys got some pet peeves. Well, that's definitely one of mine. By the way, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has been replaced by Reds pitcher Andrew Abbott. He is not going to pitch. We don't know if he's going to go to Atlanta and take part in the festivities, as I will be, by the way. I'm going to go to Atlanta. You're going to see vlogs. You're going to see lives on the field. I'm going to keep you tapped in, and we're going to be covering your Los Angeles Dodgers in Atlanta. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto will not be pitching in that game. Went just 2 outs. Was able to only go 2/3 of an inning, but still a 2.77 ERA and 97 1/3 innings of work. More than deserving of an all-star nod. So, all right, guys, let's get to you into the comments section. What are your thoughts on this recent Michael Kopech news? And also, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers trade deadline needs? I mean, interesting. A lot of the stuff I've been saying for weeks and months now, it almost feels like, hey, this is no joke at this point. Reliever, outfield bat. We'll talk some Conforto. We'll talk about the slide. We'll talk about yesterday, too. I want to give you some thoughts on yesterday's game. Mizorowski said some really interesting things after the game, I thought, about Clayton Kershaw, and we'll get into that. But let's get into your comments here. Alex Renteria, right now, Kershaw is our best pitcher. That's scary. _live. F this. Baseline, the band. We need Kevin Biggio back. That's a fantastic. That's a great comment there from Baseline, the band. We need Kevin Biggio back. Yes. Billy McKinney, Kevin Biggio, Hanser Alberto. Nick Ahmed, Joey Gallo. There's so many examples of players that find their way into this Dodgers lineup when they enter these rough stretches. It happens. This is a 162-game season. This is a part in the season where, yes, you are hitting a lull. It's not fun. It doesn't make it any less enjoyable, but we have seen this on multiple different occasions where this Dodgers team, they forget how to baseball in the middle of the summer, and then guys get healthy, and then boom, you go on this big stretch and you get hot. Last year, we thought the Dodgers were going to give the division. Last year, we were fearing that maybe a wild card round was in their future before they were able to pick it up. But look, make no mistake, you want to play better baseball, and you want the offense to turn around, and you look at this 5-game losing streak, you have 8 runs in the last 5 games. 8 runs in the last 5 games. That is awful. That is the lowest amount of runs that the Dodgers have scored in a 5-game stretch since 2017. And what happened that year? They had an 11-game losing streak. You lose 16 out of 17 that year. Still won 104 games and made it to the World Series, and would have probably won if the Astros weren't banging trash cans. So it happens. You go through these rough stretches. But yeah, a -33 run differential. That is their worst run differential in a 5-game stretch since 1932. Yesterday, you had the 12 strikeouts. The offense has been bad, but you can't panic at this point. But I will tell you something that's worrisome about where we're at right now, but I want to talk a little more about Tyler Glasnow, who makes his return. But let's read some more comments. Lucy Chen, Michael Kopech is a free agent next year. I don't think we're going to sign him. Honestly, Yates, Scott, Snell, and Conforto, all not good signings. Yeah, Yates hasn't looked good lately. He gave the home run to Frelick yesterday. Scott, I think, still is going to be a pivotal part of this team. He gave the home runs against the Astros, but I think one thing for Scott is, he went such a long period without pitching, and you want to keep these guys warm. Think about this. When Scott went on Sunday, he went Sunday, gave up those 2 home runs, hadn't pitched since Thursday, and then before that Thursday appearance against the White Sox, he hadn't pitched since Friday, June 27th against the Royals. I think that he's been mismanaged a little bit, but he did have a 1.35 ERA in June, save for the 2 home run game that he gave up, those 2 bombs against the Astros. He's been a lot better. So I still think that Tanner Scott is trending in the right direction. Snell, we don't know yet. He's made just 2 starts. Hopefully he's that ace. Here's the thing about Blake Snell. We talk about trading starting pitchers and getting Stanley Alcantara and Tyler Mahle, whoever it may be. If Blake Snell can come back and be like even 80% of the Blake Snell that he's been throughout the second half of the seasons in his career, the Dodgers are going to be acquiring the best pitcher in the second half. It just happens to be a guy that's already on their roster. So Blake Snell is almost going to feel like getting that Cy Young pitcher at the deadline. And the reason why it's going to feel like that more than ever is because he's just made 2 starts. He's just made 2 starts. And that's why it's going to feel that way, just because it's like, okay, we haven't seen very much of this guy. He hasn't done much for this organization. So it's almost like he's going to be a hired gun, and you're going to get him at that stage. So I really feel like that is right at the top of the list. If you're going to list out the 5 things that are in the way of this team, the 5 big questions that this team has heading into the second half of the season, question 1, numero uno, right at the top of that list is, what do they get from Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow? Do they get ace-level performance for the rest of the way into the postseason from both those guys? Do they get it from one of those guys? Do they get it from none of those guys? If you get it from none of those guys, you're in trouble. If you get it from one of those guys, you can be in a good spot depending on how Yoshinobu Yamamoto continues to pitch, how Shohei Ohtani pitches, what you get from Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, and Roki Sasaki if he comes back, but you can't get nothing from both of those guys. So that is the number one question heading into the second half of the season. It truly 100% is. And let's talk about Tyler Glasnow, because for as bad as this streak has been, because you get swept by the Astros, you lose to the Brewers, if he goes out there today, looks good, then that's going to be more important than just a random win against the Brewers, because it would give you a little more confidence about, oh, maybe Tyler Glasnow could be that guy, right? Maybe he wasn't just activated, the Dodgers activated from the IL. Maybe the IL didn't just activate him from the Dodgers, right? And that's the case with him. Maybe it's a real turning point. I mean, you look at the year he's had so far, he's missed 10 weeks with right shoulder inflammation. And even in those games that he played in this year, those 5 starts, he had a 4.5 ERA. You look at that ERA, though, you got to look deeper in it. And he had that bad start against Philly where he had the rain. But what he really brings to this starting rotation is high power upside and strikeout ability. And that's has been something that this rotation has missed sorely in his absence. Because even when he was on the mound this year, he had a 29.9% strikeout rate. And that is something that you could absolutely infuse. I mean, yesterday you saw Kersh, 3 strikeouts, grinded through those 6 innings to give up those 2 runs. But in the 65 games since Tyler Glasnow last started for the Dodgers on April 27th, the Dodgers have posted a 21.5% strikeout rate. That's 15th in Major League Baseball. That is the definition of mid. And the first 28 games of the season, the team was at 25.9%. That led all of Major League Baseball. So this team is a better team when they are getting strikeouts at a higher volume. And right now they've been average at doing that collectively as a group. So it would definitely come as a very pleasant development, because during his rehab starts, had some ups and downs. His last bit of action, he went 4 1/3 innings through 78 pitches on Thursday, had those 8 strikeouts, though. So that definitely is something to feel good about, is that swing and miss, that punch-out ability. And then I'm also curious to see how Ben Kasparius looks like in this bulk relief role. I mean, because as a starter, not the same results. The numbers have been down. Dave Roberts says that he's back online to go after him. So that definitely is a promising development, and he's going to be on 4 days rest. So Glasnow's back. Kopech 60-day. Alexis Diaz, I hope you enjoyed your bullpen warm-up session. But let's get back to the comment section. Welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live, number 1 Dodgers podcast, Dodgers show on YouTube. Justin Lamas says Kopech is out for the season. Doug Slayton says, D-Mac, you will love the battery in ATL. The heat will suck, but great ballpark and surrounding area. Yeah, I've never been to Truist Park. Been to like 17 parks, I think, around Major League Baseball last time I checked. So that'll be 18. How many ballparks have you guys gone to? Let me know down below. And what was your favorite that wasn't Dodger Stadium? Kevin Biggio can't hit either. Michael Pinedo, I wonder if the Dodgers will get trading pitchers like Jack Flaherty and Walker Buehler who have been healthy. Walker Buehler's probably going to be out of Major League Baseball pretty soon if he continues to pitch like he has. Jack Flaherty, they didn't want to give him a long-term deal, but he has been solid for them. There's no doubt about it. I still think that they are willing to bet on the upside of Blake Snell versus Jack Flaherty. And it was nice to see Walker Buehler have a better start of late. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 8 hits against the Nationals, but he had an 11.07 ERA in June. And, it's just not looking good for Walker Buehler. As far as Jack Flaherty goes, you guys know I love me some Captain Jack Flaherty. He's got his once a Dodger, always a Dodger card. This year, a 4.7 ERA in 95 2/3 innings, and his ERA plus has been 84. So he's been literally 16% below league average. So you just told me that the Dodgers should have kept 2 below average pitchers at over $20 million a year. Those were good non-signings. I hate to tell that to you, but not bringing back Walker Buehler was a good decision. Not bringing back Jack Flaherty was a good decision based on his performance and what they're looking for in top-end starters. I get your argument that health is wealth, your best ability is your availability and things like that. But, I mean, yeah, he just hasn't looked good this season after having a really good year last year. So I don't lose sleep over losing Jack Flaherty. I love what he did for the Dodgers, but the numbers say that it was a good thing to not bring those dudes back. We got, I like this, Parker Lee, $10 donation to D-Max overdue internet bill. Yeah, I think it was the Astros and the Trastros kind of tapping into it. My internet was basically the Dodgers offense, just sluggish, not doing much, and you just can't count on it. I mean, that was it yesterday, but we got it all worked out. The Gators show. We need a third base, shortstop, and outfield bat. Oh, and 4 more starting pitchers and 4 more bullpen pitchers. Gators show wants a completely new team. Gators show wants them to clean house. Let's not forget this is a Dodgers team that won the World Series 9+ months ago, whatever it was, and then you're still right up there in the National League. But let's talk about yesterday for a quick second, and something that is starting to be of concern. So Shohei Ohtani, he did his thing for the Dodgers to start things off, and Jacob Mizrachi, he's the real deal. I mean, he really is the real deal. He is a fantastic pitcher, lots of insane upside, slider, changeup, explosive heater. But Shohei Ohtani, just like he did last year against Paul Skeens, he showed a rookie, hey, the show, welcome to the big show.
Mizrachi to Ohtani. A high fly ball, deep center field. It is gone. Ohtani greets the rookie with a majestic blast.
That was just mean. And it felt like the Dodgers were going to go out and just completely maybe just get an angry win and show him who's boss and go out there and say, you know what, we're the Dodgers. We are not going to settle for this losing streak. But no, after that, the Dodgers offense, you just could not muster up anything. If you're the Dodgers offense, you were hoping to get something out of him. You got to kind of tip your cap because he was just absolutely excellent. But he gives up a 431-foot bomb to Shohei. And then what does he do? Mizrachi, he struck out the next 5 Dodgers hitters. And he only gave up 4 hits and a walk. And he outdueled Clayton Kershaw. I mean, 12 strikeouts. That was a career high. And the real key moment, though, the Dodgers had an opportunity against him to tie things up. It was the 6th inning, and Ohtani draws a walk. Mookie Betts singled to start off the 6th. So you got runners on first and second, no outs. And then they advance after Freddie Freeman ground to first. Then Shohei Ohtani on the contact play, he tries to score. Andy Pages had hit a ground ball to the left side, But Andrew Monasterio, give him a lot of credit. He found that throwing lane. He made that throw, and they threw out Shohei Ohtani at the plate. He had no chance. And then Mile Conforto, he grounded to first with runners on the corners, and the Dodgers just could not cash in. So that was the moment right there that they could have cashed in, but really all they had to show for it was Shohei Ohtani's 31st home run of the season. That's all they had to show for it on offense. It was the most by a Dodger before the All-Star break, and yeah, I definitely wanted to point something out that, yes, that is the most by a Dodger before the All-Star break. It was the most, and that passes Cody Bellinger in 2019, but I want to point something out. Everyone's saying, Shohei, most home runs by a Dodger before the All-Star break. Yes, that is true, but he has the third most home runs for a Dodger through 93 games. And that's something that you have to just point out if you're nitpicking there. Duke Snider had 33 in 1955, and Gary Sheffield had 32 in 2000. So even though it's the most before the All-Star break, it's not the most through 93 games. Sorry. I just want to always give Shohei Ohtani a little carrot to dangle to make sure that he's always pushing for more and more. But, of course, I only kid. But, yeah, the Dodgers offense not doing very much. They've struggled for a month now, and it's discouraging because it's coming against good teams. And Shohei Ohtani, he talked about it after the game.
In this game, you were the only one to get to Mizorowski. What were you seeing from him, your impressions of him, and just what gave you the edge in that at-bat early in the game?
先発ピッチャーの印象と打ち崩した要因としては何かありましたか？
そうですね、どの球種もやっぱりアグレッシブにこう素晴らしい球種で、何よりも制球が良かったんじゃないかなとは思うので、よく言えばその次の打席のランナー2塁のところで、最悪でも進塁打をしっかり打てれば、2対0で少し違う展開になってたのかなとは思ってます。
Yeah, just really good stuff, aggressive in the zone. But what really stood out to me was his command and control. The second or the other at bat where it was running on base. If I drove that guy in, it would have been 2-0. So I think the situation would have been a little different.
The offense, what have you found that's just missing right now? Today it seems like it was their excellent pitching, but in general, what's been missing?
打線に関してちょっと不調の要因は何でしょうかねと。
もちろん相手が素晴らしい、ここ数日素晴らしいピッチャーが投げてるっていうのももちろんそうですし、その中でもさっき言ったみたいに最低限の仕事を僕自身も含めてできればヒットがなくても得点できる機会っていうのは少なからずあるんじゃないかなとは思うので、そういうシチュエーションをしっかりものにできれば、あとはブルペンにしっかり託せるんじゃないかなと思います。
Want to give credit to the opposing team. Faced pretty good pitching the last couple of days, but at the same time, even though if we don't string up hits, there are ways to still score runs. So myself included, we got to do a better job of, just scoring when there are the opportunities to do so.
On that play where you tried to score, is that a go-on contact play, or what were you reading there?
ホームに進塁した時はもうコンタクトプレーだったのかと。
そうですね。あれはもうコンタクトプレーなので。はい、全力で走ってセーフに、送球がそれるかどうかのプレーなので、結果的にはサードベースマンのいいプレーだったなと思います。
Yes, that was a contact play, so I give it my best and was hoping for some kind of just misexecution on their part, but the third baseman did a good job.
Last one, guys.
Well, is it to get the offense going without Max, without Teo the last couple, Tommy?
マンシー・テオ以外にいない中、打線の復帰っていうのは、どうやって復帰するんでしょうかね。
幸いにもというか、そんなに長い離脱ではないと思うので、そこは今出てる選手も右もそうですけど、しっかり結果も出てるとは思うので、さっきも言いましたけど、このあと前半のオールスターブレイクまでの少しの期間をしっかりと、粘り強く戦えてれば、ピッチャー先発ピッチャーもそうですけど、しっかり主戦力が戻ってきた時に、またいい戦いができるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Yeah, I don't expect them to be gone for too long. We have guys stepping up like Miggy Rowe And as long as we kind of give it our best shot and make sure that we finish strong, I feel good about the team when we have all of our guys back.
So he's right. Miguel Rojas did get a double yesterday, but unfortunately, Mookie Betts, he hit one deep into the center field area where it's the hardest part to go deep. It was 100 miles per hour off the bat, and that was there in the third inning. But it's just one of the warning track, and it was not a 2-run home run. So, yeah, by the way, the Dodgers not making contact, 12 strikeouts against Mizorowski. It was the most times the Dodgers have struck out in a game since Shohei Ohtani did it to them years ago. So Mizorowski, Shohei Ohtani, two guys that certainly know how to pitch, but it was a game, of course, you remember in 2023, June 21st, where Shohei Ohtani had 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. So it was the most strikeouts that the Dodgers have had in a regular season game since Ohtani had those 12 punch-outs against the Dodgers back in 2023. And I did find a little interesting after the game. So if you remember this, so I just want to touch on this for a quick second. We'll give it into the Dodgers lineup here. After the game, Mizorowski, he was doing a little post-game scrum with reporters from Milwaukee. It did almost feel like your 12-year-old travel ball player getting interviewed by kind of the local reporters there. And it did feel like he kind of took it a little personal, maybe that Kirsch kind of didn't know who he was or didn't say his name before the game. Let me know if I'm being crazy, but it did definitely felt like, yes, he was respectable towards Kirsch, but also might have taken a little personal that Kirsch, a day before the start, was saying, oh, that guy that throws hard, or just didn't kind of say his name. And then Kirsch actually acknowledged that. We'll get into what he said. But here's what Mizorowski said. Tell me if I'm crazy. It felt like there was a little tone here. But here, listen.
What was it like today matching up against the future Hall of Famer there in Kershaw?
Yeah, I mean, you have all the respect in the world to face Kershaw and, the 3,000 Ks. It's awesome to see a guy like that and match up against him. But, I saw something on online that he didn't know who I was, so I hope that he knows me now, It's kind of cool. But, it is what it is.
He talked after the game, talked about your stuff, saying, I don't know how you hit that, honestly. Just when you coming from somebody like that, just how does it feel to hear that kind of compliment from somebody of that track record?
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the guy that you looked up to when I was growing up, so it's awesome to hear stuff like that and, words of encouragement.
There were several moments today where you pumped your fist, you let out a yell. It kind of seems like you're the kind of guy who just wears his heart on his sleeve. When you're excited, everybody's going to know that you're excited.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm going to let you know, and I'm fired up for every out, every inning. So, whenever I have a good inning, you're going to see me get pumped up and fly off the field. So, I'm trying to, root the team on and do my job and make it easy for the guys behind me.
So there he was, and he said it is what it is, and he hoped that he knows him now. Was that, do you think it took a little personal? Let's see what we got. We got, love that. Bet he knows now. You're crazy, D-Mac from Claudia. Mentioning it means he took offense to it from carnivorous litter activity. J-Matt said, I wouldn't read into it. The lineup today looks short. This is bad. Yeah, we'll get into the lineup here, but let's now hear from Clayton Kershaw, who really had a good start yesterday. I mean, the big takeaway from his start is that this guy just knows how to pitch. He was grinding through the first couple of innings, but really, I mean, you got to feel good about his performance. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, had 3 strikeouts, and in his start, he gave too many hits there in that 4th inning. But, I mean, to go kind of toe-to-toe was pretty wild, especially when you look at his hardest throw yesterday was 90.6 miles per hour there in the 5th inning. Mizorowski, 72 of his 91 pitches were thrown harder than that. He had 24 sliders and 6 changeups that were harder than that. And I think you look at his outing as a whole, it was definitely a solid body of work from Clayton Kershaw in that one. I mean, the first 2 hits against him, there was just infield little dribblers there in the 3rd inning. You had one by William Contreras, and then he gave up 4 singles in the 4th inning, and he gave up those 2 runs. It could have been worse than that, but Conforto, he did throw out Andrew Vaughn there, a little outfield assist there that took away a run. But, yeah, I mean, gave up too many hits in that inning. There was one play where Kirsch was not happy with James Outman. You could hear him mouthing, like, Outie, throw the ball, F, in that inning. But all in all, I mean, you'll take that outing from Clayton Kershaw.
Just when you kind of talked about your last outing, obviously talked about just kind of when you wanted the strikeouts, challenging to get there. How much just kind of more free did you feel on the mound today, just kind of getting back to your true self?
Yeah, I felt better for sure. Was able to throw the ball to both sides of the plate today, which helped a lot. Just kind of had more of a mix. It wasn't as predictable as I have been recently. So, overall it was better for sure. Made some bad pitches there in the fourth. There's a few hits that just left the ball middle a few times, but overall it was a little bit better today.
Did you feel like they were hitting the ball that hard that inning though?
The one to Vaughn was the mistake. I left that slider middle. But yeah, Contreras rolls that ball, and then Collins, off the glove of Mookie right there. So those are tough. You can't really do a whole lot about that. But the Vaughn one was a mistake one for sure.
What were your impressions of their guy, Mizrowski?
Yeah, I know him now, huh? I mean, that was super impressive. That was unbelievable. It was really special. I mean, everything. Obviously the velo, but he's got 4 pitches. Commands the ball and made it. I mean, I don't know how you hit that, honestly. That's just really tough. So, I mean, the 3 guys that came out of the pen for them plus him, I mean, I don't think we saw a fastball under 98 today as a team. So, you can talk about struggling all you want, but I don't know how. I mean, this was just a tough game. We got to give up. I can't give up any runs. That's just the way it goes.
We're in lockstep. Were you feeling just kind of the battle amongst you two?
You try to match the guy for sure. I think, Shohei hits that homer there. You try to make that stand up. And unfortunately, that 4th inning just gave up, 1 too many.
Does it make it more frustrating when it's, like that 4th inning, they're building the inning on you, like with those base hits, kind of like hard to control, especially with what's happening on the other side?
What's hard to control?
Like the way they're getting those hits, not super hard hits.
That's just baseball. It's just part of it. I always think that there's a line out waiting to happen. If you get a bad hit, that's just the way I look at it. So I don't think about it in terms of bad luck or good luck. It's just baseball.
Yeah, you got to tip your cap. Yesterday, the Brewers pitchers, between all of them, the relievers and Mizrowski, they averaged 99.34 miles per hour on the fastball. That's the highest average fastball velocity in any single game by a team in the pitch tracking era. So when you compound that with the fact that you're missing key guys, Teoscar Hernandez is out, Max Muncy is out. Muncy was their hottest hitter for over a month. That was just massive for them. You kind of understand. I mean, you still want to put a better at bats, but still, look, the losing streaks are going to come. 2018 comes to mind. I mean, 2017 comes to mind. 11 straight, 16 of 17. 2018, they had a 10-game winning streak and a 10-game losing streak. Last year, they lost 5 games in a row in May. This stuff happens in the course of the season, but one thing I will say is this week just became very important. This week just got critical because it felt like it was SF equals season finished, that SD equals season done, that, hey, let's just turn their ballparks into Spirit Halloween superstores. But no, if you look at the standings right now, let's take a look here. If you look at the standings right now, the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are 5 games up in the division, with 3 games against San Francisco in San Francisco. So could you just imagine if this week continues trending like it has been, and this losing streak continues, and these start to pile up, you could head into the All-Star break up a game, up a couple games, up 3 games, and then just like that, you have a Giants team that has proven to be aggressive with Buster Posey at the helm, replacing Farhan Zaidi after the Rafael Devers trade. And I think it's funny that everyone wanted to DFA Max Muncy. Well, guess what? Max Muncy's not on the team, and the lead in the division has shrunk. When Max Muncy went down with the knee injury, the Dodgers had an 8.5 game lead in the National League West. That lead has shrunk to 5, and it could get even lower than that. Muncy does so many things for this team. One thing that doesn't get enough credit for is he sees 4.3 pitches per at bat. That's the most of any player in that offense. So he does just so much for this team, and they're going to need him back in a big way, and hopefully he can find his rhythm. Now, take a look at this Dodgers lineup. Positive here. Check out the bottom of that lineup, and you will see Tommy Edman making his way back. So Tommy Edman is back, and he missed his last 3 games dealing with that toe fracture on his right pinky toe. It's a hairline fracture, so it's basically how well he can tolerate that pain. And you got Ohtani Betts, Smith batting in the 3-hole, Freeman batting cleanup, then Pages, Edman, Rojas, Ruiz, James Outman, and then Tyler Glasnow on the bump. Okay, guys, first pitch is moments away. At this point, I'm going to have to do shoeys just for runs. I mean, if they score 1 run, maybe I'll have to do a shoey. I mean, how desperate do we need to be? Today's shoey prop bet will be if the Dodgers scored 10 runs. If the Dodgers scored 10 or more runs, I will do a shoey on the postgame show. That is the prop bet. My called shot today, I'm going Will Smith. I think Smith hits a bomb. I'll go Smith and Shohei. Give me your called shots. Do you have any prop bets you want to see from me as far as the shoey goes? But let me know down below in the comment section. We'll join you right after the game for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Let's do some comments here before we head out here. 3 runs or more gets a shoey? No, double digits. Shoeys have to be special, okay? And honestly, my shoes are starting to smell. Shoey for a win. Darren Shepard, nope. Has 10 runs. I need 10 runs. NS, 789. Ruiz and Outman starting. We are in deep trouble. That's from Carl. Give me your called shot. Who's hitting a home run today in Milwaukee? Glaucoma says it's time for Dodger baseball. LFG, let's go blue crew. Trade for Mizorowski? Yeah, that's not happening. Mookie is no longer an elite right fielder. Let's see. Let's get your called shots. Okay, LLWC. Smith hits a bomb. Pies hits a bomb. Freddie Freeman and Tommy Edman from Sawyer Lunn. Jose says, do a shoey if Glasnow goes more than 2 innings. I'll do a shoey for Glasnow if he gets more than 10 strikeouts. 10 or more strikeouts. Remember, they're for big stuff, okay? Let's do it, though, guys. Enjoy the game. Let's end this losing streak and have a nice off day heading into San Francisco. But that's going to do it. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. And if you really want to support the show, hit the like button and drop a comment on your way out. Also remember that win or lose, nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. Until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.